Welcome back to my channel. In this video we are going to be doing another tutorial. We're going to be doing how to do a scrap yarn hexagon cardigan. First of all, obviously you're going to need your scrap yarn. I winded mine up into a yarn cake so that way it'll be easier for me to do the cardigan, the hexagon cardigan. So if you need a starting point, I suggest that you get your yarn together. However you're going to get your yarn together. You don't have to use scrap yarn, but I'm using scrap yarn. You can just use a regular skein of yarn, whatever color you would like to use. And then you're going to need your crochet hook, of course, and then pair of scissors and your regular other things that you use when you're crocheting. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, let's push this back. I'm going to do my regular magic circle. So let's do a magic circle. Everybody should know how to do a magic circle. If you're at the point of making this cardigan, let me push the camera back a little. If you're at the point of making the cardigan, then you should already know how to do a hexagon. If you're at the point of making a cardigan, you should already know how to do what is this called? Magic circle. Thank you, babe. So without further ado, we're going to do it like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to chain 3. That's 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to yarn over and put 2 more double crochets. This counts as your first double crochet in the magic circle. So now you have 3. We're going to chain 2. So now what you're going to do is you're going to put 5 more 3 clusters with the chain 2 inside of this, but I'll do it with you. So that's 1. Another 1. That's 2. Now you put your chain 2. 1, 2, 3. Chain our 2. Then 1, 2. Take some more yarn out. 3. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Chain 2. We need 2 more clusters. 1, 2, 3. We're going to chain 2. And then we're going to put 1 more cluster. And that will give us 6 clusters because we're making a hexagon. And then we're going to chain another 2 once we have 6. And we're going to close up our magic circle by just pulling the string that's left out. And at this point, you could just leave it, pull it as tight as you want it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to connect from the chain 2 to the top of our first double crochet, which was the chain 3. So for me, it's going to be right here. And we're just going to slip stitch right here, and we can pull the string again, And this is what your hexagon should be looking like to start off. And I'm not changing colors, so I don't have to cut and change. I'm just using what I have. So now what we're going to do is chain 3 after our slip stitch and turn our work. Excuse me. For this tutorial, we're not cutting and adding new whatever. I did all of that with this. So how I started my next rounds, I'm going to slip stitch, chain my 3, and turn my work. So now we have our corners. This is 1, 2, 3. We have corners. It was like going this way. Now I flipped it around. We're going to go into this corner and we're going to only put 2 more double crochets because we have this one already. 2 double crochets. So now 1, 2, 3, because our chain 3 is acting as our first double crochet. Now we're going to skip over this cluster. We're going to go right into the next corner. And we're going to put 2 clusters into this corner. And I'll show you later, once we get back around, why we didn't put 2 in this one. So don't worry. We're going to chain our 2. And we're going to put 3 more double crochets to make our other cluster. I'm gonna pull some yarn out. Okay, so we put 2 clusters. We're gonna skip over and go right into the corner, and we're going to put our 2 clusters. Make sure you're chaining your 2 in between the 2 clusters that's in the corner. Now into another corner, we're going to put our clusters in, chain 2. Now we're almost back at the end where I'm going to show you why we only put 1 cluster. We have 2 more corners to go into. So let's hurry up and do that. And pull out some more yarn. And this is 1 cluster, chain our 2. And 1 more in this one. Now we're gonna go directly into this corner and put our 2 clusters with the chain 2 in between. And 1 more double crochet. So now we left this one with just 1 cluster because now we're going to add the second cluster inside of this same space. So you're going to just yarn over, go into the same space where the first cluster we put, and put 3 double crochets and then chain 2. 1, 2. Pull some of your working yarn out. And now all you're going to do is what you did in the beginning. You're going to slip stitch into the top of your chain 3. And that's how basically every round is going to be. But now for the next round, I'll show you why it's going to be a little different. And then from there on out, it's going to be the same thing around and around and around. Now, your Hexagon is going to bend up a little bit and it's going to look uneven, but that's how you want it to look, because you're going to be, guys, sorry. You're going to be making a cardigan, and you're going to be making a cardigan, so it's going to be good. So now we're going to go into our chain 3, which is right here for me. And take your time, because I know sometimes the chain 3 be getting small because it's getting pulled. And just push your hook into there and then back to the other side, so you can have 2 loops on your hook. Now we're going to slip stitch, and we're going to chain our 3. So now there's 2 clusters in the first space, corner space. So now, once again, we're going to turn our work around, and this is how the hexagon is supposed to be looking. And of course, I'm using scrap yarn, so the ends are going to be out. I will not be tucking any ends. Only end I will be tucking is this one at the end, once we have our 2 sides made for the body of our work. So now what we're going to do is, like we do always, we're going to put 3 double crochets. So don't forget that this counts as your first double crochet, the chain 3, and then you're going to put 1, 2. So that's 3 double crochets, and we're going to leave this, so when we come back around, we're going to put another cluster in here. So now we have a side. These are your corners, and this is your side. So for the side, all we do is put 3 double crochets, and then we move on to our corner. We're not chaining 2 because we're only putting 1 cluster into the side. When you get to your corners is where you put your chaining 2, because it's going to be in between the 2 clusters, like we did for this one and this one. You put a chain 2 here. Now I'm going to put 2 clusters in my corner. Now we're going to put 3 double crochets, which is going to be 1 cluster, into our side space. And now we're back at a corner, so now we're going to put our 2 clusters with the chain 2 in the middle. And I think I'm going to do one more round after this one with you guys, and then I'm going to tell you about what's going to happen next. So keep working, take your time. Might be a little confusing if you're just making your first time making this. So now we're back at a side. So now we're just gonna put 3 double crochets. Sorry, let me fix this. If you don't have any experience working with scrap yarn, just get regular yarn, because the end pieces can get in the way, but for me it's not that much of a problem. I just work right over it, but I don't want it to confuse you and make an extra loop somewhere that you don't know what you were doing, what your work. So we're at our side, so now we're back at a corner where we're going to put our 2 clusters. And don't mind mine's looking bulky, because I'm gonna take it out so I don't confuse you guys. We're at a corner. I think my yarn is just tangled right here. See me, I was gonna work right over it, but let me just fix it for you guys. So this is 3 double crochets. So now we're into the corner and we're going to put our 2 clusters with our chain 2. And the good thing about a hexagon cardigan is you can make it as big and as small as you want for whatever size person you're making it for, or if you're making doll clothes for a baby, adult. So we're going to keep going until we get to the end. If you won't skip ahead, if you're working faster than me, that's fine as well. Because I know some people work fast and you probably caught the hang of it, or probably just needed a refresher on how to do the hexagon cardigan. Now, we're at a side again, so that only requires 3. So now we're at a corner, and we're going to put 2 clusters with the chain 2 in the middle. And all the chain 2 does is create a space where you can work in between the 2 clusters when you get to the next round. So we're at our last side space for this round. Just 3. And now we're back at the beginning where we did our first cluster. So now we're going to put another cluster and make sure you go in the same space as the first cluster. So now we're going to put our next cluster in here. That was 2, so now we're doing 3. And we chained our 2. So now we're going to go back to our chain 3, which is right here. And I'm gonna put my crochet hook through the top of the chain 3 to the other side. Slip stitch 1, 2, 3, chain our 3. So now this is what the hexagon is looking like right now. So far we did 1, 2, 3 rows for this hexagon. I'm gonna flip it for you so you can see. This is what the hexagon is looking like right now. I think it's coming out really nice. Obviously, I'm using scrap yarn like I said in the beginning. So this is how it's looking. And as you can see, it'll make like a little bend. And just to show you, like, you'll find your equal spot. Because if you take this and go here, it's going to look weird. So once you find that spot where it would look like a cardigan, now you can see like this will be the arm part and this is the body. It's very small right now, but once you keep going, it's going to take you no time to make it the size that you want. So don't get discouraged because it works up pretty fast. And it's going to be so worth the wait. So now that you did 3 rows, keep going. I'm going to do 10 rows and I'll meet you guys back. I already did the 10 rows no, I think this is 10 rows. Let me just count my other one. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, so we did 3 so far. So now you're going to do 8 rows to reach up to where I would need this to match my other one that I made, and I'm going to show you the other one. So yeah, stay tuned for part 2, where I will show you once you made your desired amount, whether that is 10 if you're making it for a kid, or 20 or 15, whatever. But if you're making it for adult size, like how I'm going to be making it, stay tuned for part 2. But for right now, where we're ending this video right here, we're going to be making it up to 11 rows. So for part 1. So this is how it looks small. And now let me show you how it looks big. This is what it's looking like when it's at 11 rows. So you see how it like bends right here? That's fine. That's what it's supposed to do. I'll flip it over to this side. This is a less messier side. This is what my other half is looking like right now. And I will count the rows for you guys. So this is how I count my rows. I start from here because it has the 2 clusters, so that means it's a corner. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this video we're going to end with 11 rows, and for the next video we'll pick up from where we left off. We'll keep going to the desired amount, and then that's when we're going to learn how to put our cardigan together. And then part 3 we will be doing the sleeves and to elongate your cardigan. So thank you guys for watching this tutorial. I hope you guys had a great time. I hope I was very informational for you guys. The video was very informational for you guys. I hope you understand what I was saying. Hopefully the yarn wasn't too confusing. This is where I'm stopping until I finish. I will be working on both sides for you guys, so that way when we come back that I'll have everything done. But yeah, stay tuned for part 2. This is part 1, and make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss out when I post the other video.